Are we on? Hey. Hey, what's going on? We are back with another video. You gonna try to say something this time?
No, come on. Say hi. Say hi to your friends.
She's just really skittish. Okay, I'll put you down. So yeah, what's going on? Skid Gore back with another video. I think this is D's part 3. This should be a pretty fun video. I got some pretty cool movies to show. So, just gonna check the camera real quick, make sure we're still on. We are. Okay, cool. Wait. Yeah, okay. I've been known to talk and the camera's off. It's a habit. Cheers. Are you still gonna stick around? She's still gonna stick around, I guess. You gonna say something? Yeah? Say hi to everybody. Say hi, everybody. I think that's about as much as we're gonna get out of her. And be traumatizing her. Alright, well, first up, we have for the D's. It's the Day of the Animals. This is actually one of my favorite Animals Attack movies. They just don't make them like this anymore. You know, using real animals and just total chaos, man. Like, this movie was from '76, and it stars... If you ever want to see Leslie Nielsen, you know, everyone knows him as a comedian, you know, for the Naked Gun movies, which he's amazing in. But if you ever want to see him as a real sinister asshole, check out Day of the Animals. This is a really good role of his. Such a great film, so many great memorable scenes. Just the killer animals, obviously the cougar was one of my favorites. But yeah, Day of the Animals. I really should upgrade this because it really just got a nice, good Blu-ray release. Still kind of rocking this cheap DVD, but nonetheless, it's a great film. Love that cover. So that's Day of the Animals. And we have an Italian giallo here called Delirium from 1972. This is a Blue Underground release. Really good giallo. Starring the great Mickey Haggerty of Bloody Pit of Horror. And if you've never seen Bloody Pit of Horror, that movie's a trip. That's one you definitely got to see as far as exploitation cinema goes. That one's great. But Delirium is really good. Character study. We have one called Dead Weight. This is a really good movie, kind of like definitely a survival type film. One of my friends goes by the name of Jake Martin, plays one of the hillbillies in this movie, and that's kind of cool. You know, shout out to Jake. I doubt you're watching, but yeah, this is a great, great film. Great by John Pata. It's a great film. Filmed in Wisconsin. And starring a good friend of mine. So, Dead Weight. Great movie. Wow, we have quite a stellar cast here. We have Kane Hodder, Bill Moseley, Dee Wallace, and Sid Haig all in the same movie. And I believe this was... I think this was... This was directed by... I think it was written by Gunnar Hansen, wasn't it? Yeah, it was written by Gunnar Hansen, the late great Gunnar Hansen. But excellent film called Death House. Just a real fun horror romp, like just all your favorite baddies of all these great horror films that we all grew up and loved, all in one movie. Dee Wallace is such a great person as well, and Kane Hodder, can't go wrong with Kane Hodder, right? Hold on. Bye, Binky. Traumatized her enough. I had Dracula in my last showing, but I just kind of wanted to show this. This is kind of a limited run I think this cover glows in the dark, I believe. Kind of a limited edition covers. I got a Frankenstein one too. But that's cool. Everyone knows Lugosi in that immortal role. This next one is called Death Tunnel. This film, I heard about this film through a documentary about this insane asylum, sanitarium. I forget the name of it offhand, but it actually is a real place. A Kentucky sanitarium. I forget what it's called though. But this movie was filmed there, and wow, it's quite a story about how this movie was filmed, and the sets are all real. You know, there's no. It's a very creepy place. One of the creepiest places. Think of like Danvers Asylum from the movie Session 9 or something. That's around the same lines as that. But Death Tunnel's great. That was a good one. This one I enjoyed. This is a Halloween themed horror film. Hi Binky. This is a Halloween horror themed film. It's okay. It's called Dark Water. This one was really good. The killer in this movie looks really awesome. And it stars the great... how did I hear about this one? Michael Siggs in this? I really do remember enjoying this. I really do remember enjoying this film. Dark Water is cool. I wouldn't mind getting a mask of that. That would be badass. Here we got a classic here called Dracula vs. Frankenstein. This one's called... Yeah, okay, this is Dracula vs. Frankenstein. And it, rest in peace to Al Adamson. If you guys don't know who Al Adamson is, okay, I'll put you down. Sorry. If you guys don't know who Al Adamson is, Severn Films put out a really amazing documentary piece on him, and I would highly recommend that if you want to learn more about the man and his work and his horrible, absolutely horrible, untimely death. It's just it's a stuff of just absolute tragedy. No one ever deserves that. But Al was a great director and a great human being, and this is one of his best films, Dracula vs. Frankenstein. It also stars the late great Forrest J. Ackerman and Lon Chaney Jr. in one of his last roles. Yeah, I think it might actually be his last film, I believe. Yeah, I think it is his last film. Spider Baby was before this. Yeah, okay. And J. Carl Nash, too. Another classic horror favorite, you know. But Dracula vs. Frankenstein by Al Adamson. That's just a really fun monster film, for sure. Yeah, we got a classic here. Everyone knows this one. From Dusk Till Dawn. Talk about a movie that I really should upgrade because I just love it so much. It's so much fun. Tom Savini's The Sex Machine, obviously. Juliette Lewis is amazing and just looks amazing in this film. Can't go wrong with Quentin Tarantino and George Clooney together. Great film. That's one of the best, in my opinion. Dusk Till Dawn is one of the best modern vampire films. Absolutely. I mean, in terms of storytelling, in terms of action and atmosphere, and definitely acting wise, I think it's just definitely a stellar cast and a great film. Hermano Macabro. Movie people might not know because I don't really hear too many people talk about it, but it's called The Devil's Business. But this was a really good release from Mondo Macabro. I'd highly recommend this one. Devil's Business. H.P. Lovecraft's Dagon. From the late great, I can't say enough good things about him in his film, Stuart Gordon. One of my absolute favorite directors. One of the few directors that got Lovecraft right. Lovecraft adaptation film Obviously for Reanimator, From Beyond, Castle Freak, movies like that. But Day Gone is right up there. I like it a lot. Really good visuals. I think it's based on the Shadow over Innsmouth story, but just really well done, really well acted. Love this film. One of my favorite creature features, 80s creature features, The Deadly Spawn. This is a Synapse Films release of it, DVD, but it's really cool. You get a lot of awesome bonus shit on here, and it's just such a fun movie. If you're a fan of like creature features, you'll definitely eat this up. Right up there with something like The Kindred or Slugs or something. Just a really good creature feature. Really amazing gore, practical effects. Just they don't look outdated. I don't think they look outdated. I think they still stand up. But The Deadly Spawn, amazing. I think it's also called. What is this one called? The other title? Oh god, I forget, brain fart, but definitely Deadly Spawn. I wish I had an original VHS of that because I love that film so much. Here's a really cheap version of this film from Sinister Cinema. They're kind of a cheaper label, but they really put out some amazing films and lost films, and this is called The Possessed. But I know it more so as Demon Witch Child. Really like this movie a lot. Good Satanic Panic, Exorcist ripoff type stuff going on in this. And yeah, definitely a demon possession film on the lines of like The Exorcist. But very vulgar. It's interesting to hear a child actor say some of this vulgarity, which is kind of funny, I think. But The Possessed or Demon Witch Child is amazing. I think that's from 71. Oh, we have a classic here. The Abominable Dr. Vibes and Dr. Vibes Rises Again. Double feature with the great Vincent Price. Oh, man. One of my absolute favorite roles of his. I think my favorite role of his, personally, if I had to choose one, it probably would be Witchfinder General. He was Matthew Hopkins in that movie, just a really deranged psycho, but Fives is an amazing character as well. I love it. I would like to upgrade both of these films in the future. Here's a really cool movie. I actually have the Blu-ray of this, but I can't find it at the moment. No, not at the moment, sorry. I do have the Blu-ray, but this is just the DVD. Dominique is Dead. Really good psychological mindfuck of a movie. It's something you just gotta see. Amazing acting by Gene Simmons. Not that Gene Simmons of Kiss. But yeah, it's a great film. I have the Blu-ray somewhere. I'll talk more about this movie when I pick up the Blu-ray because it has so much bonus shit on it, and it's such a more superior version, obviously, than this. But great movie nonetheless. Oh, we have a classic slasher film here that Siskel and Ebert absolutely hated back in the day when they did their whole campaign against slashers, you know, called Don't Answer the Phone. God, this is such a sleazy, mean-spirited film. Nicholas Worth, oh my God, he was born for this role. Like kind of Henry and Henry Portrait of Michael Rooker and Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. You know, some people are just made for those roles, and Nicholas Worth is this scumbag in the movie Don't Answer the Phone. Wow, that performance is just unmatched. He gets called the Fat Bruce Willis, which I can see because he kind of does look like a fat Bruce Willis. That's kind of funny. I heard a fellow YouTuber say that one time, and it just kind of stuck. But just, like I said, a mean-spirited movie, not for everybody, but really good. And it's kind of a misleading title because I don't really think there's a lot of phone action in it. I think it's just this guy going around raping women and torturing people. He's this Vietnam vet that comes back, and he's obviously got some serious issues. But Nicholas Worth and Don't Answer the Phone, highly recommended. Highly recommended. I heard of this next one through the late great Killjoy of Necrophagia, rest in peace. I heard him talking about this movie in an old interview with him. And at the time, it was only on VHS. It was in VHS obscurity. But thanks to the mighty Vinegar Syndrome, which is, along with Severn, is one of the best companies that are rescuing these more obscure films and bringing it to our enjoyment, which I think is fucking awesome. Deadline. Awesome film. I would highly recommend Deadline. Just go into it not knowing anything about it and just enjoy it. Excellent film. Oh boy, we have we have quite a brutal one right here. Yep. This film series has quite the history, and I'm not going to get into it. Obviously, the whole Charlie Sheen story and all that stuff with Flower and Flesh and Blood, but this is a Devil's Experiment from the original Guinea Pig series. I think this is mad out of print. I think this is when Stephen Biro of Unearthed Films put it out for the first time in the US when he acquired the rights, you know. But just Devil's Experiment is great, and it's also got Android of Notre Dame, which is good. It's kind of a bit of a Reanimator ripoff, Japanese style, I guess. But it's still a fair film. But Devil's Experiment is the one I'll talk a bit about. Unrelenting. If scenes of barbaric torture, such as needles going into eyeballs, women getting entrails thrown at them and being burned horribly, and then put maggots on the wound and them crawling over. It's just really some sinister, brutal shit. Torturous shit. This film has quite the background as well. Do your homework and look it up. But it's just I keep using the word mean-spirited, but this one really is. Devil's Experiment. A movie definitely that it's not one that I can watch like all the time, but I love it. Devil's Experiment. Here's a kind of a modern day classic. It's kind of turned into a bit of a cult film. Donnie Darko. Excellent film. Yeah, I mean, can't you say? It's a great movie about time travel and just growing up and being different, and it's a good story about mental illness and just loss and love and being bullied. I mean, school bullies are just the worst. And it's just a great film, Donnie Darko. Who can also forget Frank, the huge bunny? I actually watched this movie on Easter. It's an Easter movie for me just because of Frank. One of my favorite modern vampire films, for sure. Ethan Hawke and William Dafoe and the mighty Sam Neill in Daybreakers. This movie and 30 Days of Night are some of the best, and Let Me In are some of the best, Let the Right One In, are some of the best modern vampire films in my opinion. Daybreakers, I heard about this one through Rue Morgue magazine, and I'm glad I checked it out because it's got a really amazing story, good survival story for vampires. We have a pretty good one here that kind of fell through the cracks. I think I think more people are starting to know it, but it really is a great film. I was a little late to the party at this one, but I'm glad I was better late than never. That's called Dead End. It's kind of got a bit of a Twilight Zone feel to it, but done very well. Lin Shaye is great as the mother. And of course, you can't go without mentioning Ray Wise's performance as the father. Wow, that's an amazing performance. But Dead End is a great film. Highly recommend that one. Another one I would recommend. This is a very disturbing, disgusting movie. I mean, it kind of makes you think about your neighbors around you, because you never really know who they are. It might be this guy in Deadly End. Yeah, this movie. This one really took me back too when I saw it for the first time. It's another one I'm really glad I discovered. This guy across the street is just making this new couple that just got married and moved into this new house in this new neighborhood, and he's just torturing them mentally, and it just gets crazy. Anything from he gives them like these laxatives and chocolates, and they all shit themselves. That's disgusting. But there's just a lot of crazy stuff in this movie. Disgusting movie. Deadly End. I'd highly recommend that one. Take a quick drink here. Thank you for watching. Alright. This next one is a really good practical effects film. And if you know me by now, I'm a practical effects guy. I think it's a craft, and I just think that it's more realism, and you can really take more from the movie when it's real. I don't mind CGI if it's done right, but this is a prime example of some great practical effects in a modern horror film. It's called The Demon's Rook. Unbelievable film. Unbelievable. I love the look of the demons. One of my friends on Facebook, he's in a black metal band called Bloodstained Dusk. I like them a lot, actually. He plays one of the zombies in this. That's kind of cool. But just a great all practical effects extravaganza. Such good gore. Man, if you're a gore hound, you'll eat this up. Right on the lines of like, I don't know, I guess Evil Dead, as far as like the whole all practical gore effects, you know. It's definitely a fun popcorn watch for sure. And especially if you're a fan of practical effects like me. Devil's Rook. It's either Rook or Rock. I think it's Rook. This one I just recently discovered from a friend of mine on YouTube here called Terror for Tom. He's talking about this movie. And I love that guy, man. He's got one of the best collections I've ever seen in my life for horror. And he's a pretty cool, down-to-earth guy. And I heard him talking about this movie a couple times, so I checked it out. It's called The Devil's Express from Code Red. Wow, what a gem. What an absolute gem. It's hard to calculate because it's got horror elements, it's got a lot of action, and it's got a shit ton of kung fu martial arts. And you throw that all together, and you get The Devil's Express. Like a lot of supernatural stuff mixed with... I mean, it's out there. It really is out there. It's one of those movies it's hard to categorize, but I enjoyed every minute of it. I'm surprised I enjoyed it as much as I did, because the premise sounds ridiculous when you read it, but when you watch it, you really enjoy it. I gotta say, let's see, Warhawk Tanzania? I think it's his... Okay. Yeah, he's the lead in this. And he's fucking awesome. But this is a really fun gem of a movie you got to check out. Definitely an example of this is from the 70s, yes, 76, 70s exploitation horror cinema that fell through the cracks, that is finally being rescued from great companies like Code Red, and we are very grateful. And thank you once again for Terror for Tom for turning me onto this movie, because it was really good. I enjoyed it, and I hope you do too. So go on and check out Devil's Express Blu-ray. Really nice version. Getting down to nitty gritty, one of my favorite movies here. This actually just got a really, really good. I think he keeps opening my door. Sorry. From No Shame. This is out of print. This actually came with the amulet, which I actually do have. I got this at the Severin table at Days of the Dead. But this is from that film. This is the amulet. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the amulet. And the film I'm talking about is Dark Waters from 1993 or four. Okay. Yeah. This is a great example of a stunning visual film. Fuck, man. This is an art house film fanatic's nightmare come true of a film. Just amazing, stunning visuals, like going back to like Mario Bava, Dario Argento, Fulci. Just you can tell that that this director, let's see, Mariano Bano, was inspired. Amazing film. I love it. Nunsploitation, demon possession. The score is just unbelievably creepy in this movie. And that nun with that blind nun, she's fucking creepy. But Dark Waters, love this movie. Amazing. Well, we got a lot of fun fan favorite here in Dead Pit. Dead Pit is one of my absolute favorite zombie films. I just love it. Love everything about it. This is a really old version from Code Red, and I know they just put out a pretty good Blu-ray of this, so I wouldn't mind upgrading this. Like I said, I'm not going to upgrade every damn movie because I'd be spending all my money just on the same shit, and I don't like doing that. I don't like double dipping. I did pre-order the new August Underground from Unearthed Films. I just had to. There's just some shit you have to have, you know, over and over again. But yeah, Dead Pit is great. Anybody know the death metal band Mortician? They did a badass tribute to this movie, along with many other horror movies from the 80s. That's their thing. But yeah, that's kind of how I got introduced to Dead Pit. I do remember this VHS cover as a kid going into the old mom and pop shops, and it was like a badass video cover where what the hell do you call? I don't know the word for it, but it was like I don't know. It was made out of a special material where you could, like, the zombie was actually coming at you. It's hard to describe. You just had to see it, but it was awesome. I remember that visual. But Dead Pit, fucking amazing, man. Then we got two more here. This is one of my favorite batshit. I'm just gonna call this a batshit crazy movie that you just have to experience. There's so many genres in this. There's exploitation. There's rape, revenge. There's bikers. There's Sasquatches. There's blood and guts. There's just anything you can think of in this movie. It's just the whole total package. It's called Dear God No. What a fucking film, man. Bikers, bullets, boobs, blood, beer, and Bigfoot. You damn right. This movie has it all. I highly would recommend this movie to anybody who is a fan of just absolutely crazy, bonkers, exploitation, 70s style type films, man. Because you're gonna love this shit. There's just shit flying everywhere. There's so many good boobs. There's a Sasquatch in it. It's It's like the director just said, you know what? I'm gonna do what I want. I'm just gonna put all this shit in my movie just because I want to. And he also did another movie after this called Frankenstein Created Bikers, which I unfortunately do not have. I think it's pretty hard to find. I would like to find that one because I really do like this guy's work. But dear God, no. Amazing film. Check it out. I cannot recommend that movie enough. Okay, well, the last film I have is from New Zealand, and anyone who knows New Zealand cinema, they have their own style. You can tell it's a New Zealand film. Anything from like Dead Alive to Housebound to this amazing film, Deathgasm. Oh man, one of my absolute favorites. I just love throwing this movie on when I don't know what the fuck to watch and just have a good time. I just love it. Obviously, I'm a huge metalhead and a horror fan, so you put two and two together and you get this. And unbelievable film. Amazing soundtrack. I think Metal Blade helped with it, I believe. Just unbelievable film. I love it. The character of Brody kind of reminds me a bit of myself when I was that age. Just kind of being an outcast metalhead. Didn't really have a lot of friends. Didn't really have much to live for. Struggling in bands and trying to make ends meet and shit, you know. I never summoned the devil. I summoned a lot of other things, but not the devil. But these guys summon the devil for their band. That gives them the power to have the power of evil, basically, and turn people into demons. And then just the part where the teacher turns into a demon is one of my favorites. But of course, you can't go mentioning this movie without the death by dildo scene. Unbelievable. This is such a great film. I remember me and my friend were headbanging when Emperor came on. That was cool. But yeah, Deathgasm, one of my absolute favorites. Check it out if you never have. If you're a fan of metal and you're a fan of horror, this is like peanut butter and jelly, man. You'll fucking dig this shit. Well, yeah, I guess that's it for now. Yeah, that was the last one, yep. So, appreciate you watching and subscribing as always, and Skid Gore. Till next time, gore forever.